Hello, my name is Keith and I am known as the Florida Stone Man, and today this is a powerful video topic. Ooh, you become what you're around. I'm gonna teach you how to get off the ground and then you're gonna turn your life around. I have to have fun on these video topics because I can't be all so serious like, oh. And it's a little nice and cool out here, so I'm here patting myself down. So, and yes, I try to have as much silliness added to the videos as possible because life is fun and life is a game, but you have to play it right through Jesus Christ. Ooh. So this video is talking about something very powerful. You are whoever you're around is someone who you are. You have no other option. It's basically, the secret is everyone's energy is subliminal. So all these people have these energy. So they're either worried about something, and it just depends on who you're around frequently. So if you're around someone who worries all the time, you will be full of worries. I promise you guys, if you're around someone who does nothing but stress and always has problems, you will always stress and you will always have problems. There have been one or two people in my life way back then who I'm a very peaceful person. I'm just very still at mind. My mind is very singular when it comes to, it's like what they call no state of mind. It's just Jesus. My mind is just Jesus, if you guys can't tell. So what you guys have to know is, how do I say this correctly? Whoever you're around is literally programming you. And I've had people from way back then, and I've had people way back then who just stress. It's one or two people way back then who I let close. And they would stress, and I'm like, I try to help them all the time. And it's people from my high school, which they might know who they are. But I actually warned them 1,000 times, and I actually told them up front, I'm like, can't help you if you're not going to listen. Go get pregnant then. But, one of them had 4 kids, and they couldn't take care of anything. And I kept saying to her, and I basically said to her, you can't do this. And then she's living with, I can't say any more details because I'm not going to put all her information out. Well, this is just one of them. And it became a major problem because then with a bunch of kids, you get really stressed out. So I rebuke that. I hope you guys have kids when you are able to have kids. So just talking to her every single day, it implanted, just because I'm around a lot of people who do really well. And one person who was just constantly not listening and constantly making really bad decisions and stressing, it was disrupting my energy field. Let's just say that. It was a thorn on the lion's foot, and I'm not talking about myself as a lion. I just use that as an example from the Bible, okay? So, Lion of Judah, but that's outside the point. What you have to know is one person who's around you who's stressing you out they can manifest nothing but you being in the dirt. And it sucks. It's sad. It is sad, and yes, I've been outside for a minute. So, it's unfortunate that it's like that, but you can actually flip the script. You put yourself around one person who does well, just make one friend who is really well off. Not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally. Be around someone who, and don't vampirize them, please. Do not do that. It's not cool. Just be around them and make yourself compatible to that vibration and just vibe with someone or something around you. And it doesn't have to be a person. This is mainly talking about friend influences right now. Or it could be a relationship influence as well. For example, I'm not gonna use any examples for that one. Yes, little fly in my face. Hello. Bonsoir. I'll eat the fly if it gets that close again. I'm not a frog, but that is 0.003% protein, and I'm not about to swat it in my face. So basically, and yeah, for people who are native, especially the natives, people want to talk about, oh, I burn sage, but you know that your ancestors ate bugs and they were very, very good. They were very tasty. They actually cooked them. Like, well, I'll never do any of that. Well, I guess you're only picking and choosing because they didn't just burn sage. They actually burned sweet grass more than they burned sage, but no one talks about that. Sweet grass is very good. It's actually one of Jesus' favorite herbs. So, what else you have to know is that whoever you're around will change your ground. So, if you're around someone who does nothing but worry, and you're around 10 other people who are doing really, really well, that one person who worries could take you down. They could ruin you. I do not desire to go into detail. Notice how I say I do not want. But you said look around because it's Florida, so I have to keep my eyes peeled. Basically, one person can literally ruin you. Or one person can make you. Just with their energy alone, with not even getting help from the person, not even asking them for anything, just being around them. When I was young, and when I was a little kid, a small child, a long time ago, I was around, there was people from my high school, and then there was people who, let's just say, because you get to pick and choose who you hang around, older people, like people who were elderly. And some of them had some serious knowledge. So only some of them are around, actually. They're still around. They had the knowledge to keep themselves alive through Jesus. And what I learned from being a kid around elderly people like, oh, he has an old soul, I didn't know what that meant. But the knowledge that they gave, it's just like, I wonder how much I can say on YouTube. I talk to you guys as if I'm talking to someone on FaceTime, which I have to keep my eyes peeled, so I'll be looking around. But there's a guy who knew a guy who invented the freezer. And they were friends. You can look this up. But the other guy didn't get any credit or any attention or light. He basically showed me all of his plans, his patents, his designs. And this was a long time ago. So, it's a very specific kind of freezer. It's one of those new age freezers. Or like the newer freezers, what you know as the freezer. Like you have a cooler and a freezer. The freezer. And basically, you ever just talk to someone who's like, oh, I basically did it. I mean, when you talk to some people who are older, they're like, oh, I was the person who did the commercial way back then, and they used my voice. This guy was the guy who invented the freezer, but his friend was doing the same thing at the same time. And he said he didn't act on what Jesus told him to right away. If you guys know how Jesus works, Jesus can work in some strange ways. You know what Jesus can do? Jesus can be like, do this now. And you just say, okay. Jesus told me the other day, or it was yesterday, walk down the end of the pier. I'm like, it's lightning out, but I'm gonna do it because I trust you. And he made his point very clear in my shorts yesterday with the prayer videos that I was talking about. Those were some of the best shots in the entire area. But God was just demonstrating that he was God. So, talking to these people, even as a kid, I learned some serious lessons. Serious lessons. So, that's why if Jesus says something, I don't wait. If Jesus says, do this right now, don't even question. He's not going to say don't even question me. He just tells you something and he's like, just do it. If Jesus told me to slap myself in the face right now, I would, but he's not that kind of God. He's a good God. He's holy. If you're talking to someone who does that, then that's not actually Jesus. Which Jesus, when you hear Jesus' voice, you can't miss. You know it's Jesus. He'll make himself very clear. For people who are like, well, are you actually talking to Jesus? I'm like, ask him yourself. I've had people challenge me. Oh, which God are you serving? Which Lord are you serving? They're not around now. Widows. I'm not gonna say too much detail. I just said too much. I just said way too much. Okay. Newly widows. Okay. That was a lot of information at once. That just happened too. But basically, what am I talking about these people who are older for? I learned a lot. A lot. My whole mindset changed. And it wasn't even just from him telling me that story. He taught me tips. So he taught me tips. And those tips were awesome. And they reoccurred. Well, I'm talking about a story from when I'm a kid. I wonder what else imprints on your mind. If you hear these people every single day saying the same things, if you hear people saying, I want this or I need that, get away from them. If it's your family, come back later and help them later. But you can't be around people who are not grateful, or you'll end up not grateful. You know, the best way to live life through Jesus is just saying, I'm grateful. I am grateful. Something happens that you don't like, I am grateful. Because all you know is gratitude, and then you get nothing but good in life. So, for example, if someone wakes you up out of your sleep with a scary noise, I am grateful. I don't even know why, I'm grateful, Jesus. I'm grateful. All you know is gratitude. All you know is just unconditional God's love. You hang around these people who complain about one thing. Look at these YouTube comment sections. This day and age has popularized complaining. This day and age has popularized complaining. And it's scary. It is scary. Everyone complains now. If you put yourself around people who complain, you will have many things to complain about. One of the reasons that Israel had to wait 40 years in wandering the wilderness is because they complained. They complained more than 4 times. And God's like, I'm sick of their complaining. I'll give them something to complain about. He actually said, I'm going to kill off all the people who complain because I don't like complaining this much. And he did. And he left their younger generation who doesn't complain to live past. Because what do you have to complain about? You're alive. You're healthy. You can do anything you want in life through Jesus. God can give you anything at any time. 7 times will pass by thee until I realize the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms, and he will give them to anyone who he pleases. God can give you anything at any time. Doesn't matter where you are. You can be... That's the thing. People who, for example... I know people who do well, and that's the thing. If you know someone who does well and they're evil, stay away. No examples there. Jesus said no examples because... No examples. Okay. But if you know someone who's really good and wealthy, and you're in that person's energy field or subconscious mind, wealth is not just financial abundance. So I tell people, for example, and that's the thing, find the people who are in abundant mind frames to be around. They go, I'm not shallow, I'm not going to go to a golf course. Okay, who else are you hanging around? What if you want to hang around no one? There's a whole plan for that. You go into isolation and you shut off every outside influence. And you listen to audios all day and night of people who do really well. There's that option. But if you're around one person who is just hurting and they're not on the path to getting better, what if you're there to help them? If they're not helping themselves, I'm not sorry. Then you can't do anything. There are some people who you have the opportunity to help them and you get the good karma for it. But once that person doesn't help themselves, get away. Or you're against God's will. You're out of God's plan. So my message to you guys is put yourself around some really positive influences. I recommend it. And for example, I'm in one of the wealthiest areas in South Florida. It's a small area. And I come here every day because it's safe, it's nice, it's clean. I go to other areas as well. Look, there's even police just watching people. Just monitoring people. That's very safe. You can go to some places in Fort Lauderdale. They're blasting Cardi A or Cardi B or whatever. Ooh, I just said its name. Great. I was trying not to say its name. That thing openly open demonic practices. Have you look up a video of it doing a ritual. Of it doing something with witches. Oh, but it's just joking. It's not joking. That thing is not joking. And why you say thing? That thing is housed and encompassed by spirits. There's no one he or she in that body. That body's a female. But it's a house of spirits. That's Legion, and they're many. That's why it has so many different personalities. If you really want to know what I think about celebrities or actually know about them, ask Jesus to show you. Jesus intended on me saying its name. Okay, I guess it just didn't like that one that much. I guess he didn't like that one that much. And Jesus does not like Cardi B, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. How did this even pop up in the video? Because if you listen to her songs, I said her for that specific reason, you will be a horny person. You will not be able to control yourself. Your finances will be low. You'll be fighting with other women. Even if you're a man, you will have nothing but fights with women. So I'll talk about them in the next video. Say it how it is. If someone doesn't like what I say, I don't care. I literally relay what Jesus says. Say that to Jesus. Say that you don't like what I just said to Jesus. Have him show you. Have Jesus show you. Okay? Any questions? Ask them in the comment section. And yeah, my video is a little unorthodox, but I'm not going to say what everyone else said to be popular. Well, I could be popular if I'd like to be popular. It's easy to become popular. You don't have to sell out. You just do the same thing everyone else is doing to mislead people into not getting an actual information given to them. But I'm giving you actual information through Jesus. So get it how it is, and you'll actually be helped. Any questions, ask them in the comment section. And for the people who I've helped, who've made it pretty big, congratulations. They message me every now and then. Very big. What happens when someone reaches more than a couple $1 million in their bank account? They actually go back to what they were doing if they loved doing it. So if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Like I said, follow this advice, and through Jesus, you'll strive. Ciao. God bless all of you.